Can you see on the bottom? We're live.
Awesome. Hey guys, can everybody hear me? Adrian? Are they able to check
Not
back?
here yet.
Hey Dan?
Yes.
Are they able to chat back right now? Or can
Yeah. Do you see the chat roll in your screen there?
you chat? Yep.
You'll be able to see anyone chatting there.
Or can they speak back directly? Or is it muted?
They can talk directly,
Okay, cool.
but we'll bring them in later on for that. So right now it'll be your presentation, then we can actually invite them in on a Google Hangout by bringing them on camera, and if they have any questions they can ask you.
So can everybody hear this right now? Oh, fantastic. I think everybody can hear. Hey Adrian, awesome. All right, cool. Is there anything that you need from me, Adrian, or should we just get ready to rock and roll? All right, cool. We can. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. Cool. I'm getting all the yeses and the ups. Cool. So you guys have to excuse part of this. This is actually my first Google Hangout that I've ever done, so I'm actually really nervous. I've done 1,200 live workshops, but I'm kind of scared right now. No, I'm totally joking. I do want to thank Adrian and also Jessica and Dan, who's helped put this together. So I really appreciate you guys putting all this together for the group. I'm excited to partner up with you guys to deliver an impactful, awesome, amazing message. So I do want to make sure that you guys are all, just want to thank those individuals, and Jessica's had a little incident, but we're hoping that she gets better, and she is getting way better here way soon. So just sending some prayers and some blessings her way, some good energy. And with that being said, let's get rock and rolling. You know, I don't know if Adrian or if you guys know who or why I'm here or who I am exactly, but my name is Dragan Trajkovski. It's actually pronounced Dragan. I go by Dragan because it's much easier to pronounce and it's way cooler. My last name looks a little bit funky, and it's actually pronounced Trajkovski, but I make it really easy for everybody, so I just go by Dragon Slayer because I think that's one of the coolest names in the world. But with that being said, I'm actually one of 5 national speakers and corporate trainers that works directly with Anthony Robbins. I've been with Tony for the last 5 years, and it's been a complete honor and privilege to work and learn from this man. So I'm pretty sure that you guys all have a pretty good idea, or at least are aware of who Tony Robbins is. But you know, the one biggest thing that I get when I hear from people who Tony Robbins is I get he's a motivational speaker, and I get that all the time. Tony Robbins motivational speaker, Tony Robbins motivational speaker, Tony Robbins motivational speaker. Well, believe it or not, Tony's just not a motivational speaker, and believe it or not, this afternoon, this webinar is not about motivation, and I'm not here to motivate you guys. However, will you guys be motivated? Will something shift for you all on this call before we're done? Yes, I promise you, and I can guarantee you that. But the real reason why that we're on this webinar, that we put this stuff together, and why we're really here today is for the same reason that some of the most successful people in the world have all worked with or are currently working with Tony Robbins. And I'm sure you guys, some of you guys have heard some of these names, people like Warren Buffett and Steve Wynn, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Donald Trump. And it's pretty silly, but you know, all those people, they're successful. It's not that they're not motivated, they're all motivated as well. So the question is, why would anybody who's already motivated and already successful work with a guy like Tony Robbins and invest up to $1 million, if not more, to work with this guy one-on-one? It's really for one reason only. It's for results. And all these individuals have already produced results in some area of their business or their life, but they all wanted one thing. They all wanted more. They wanted better results in some area of their business or their life. And that's just like every single one of you here live right now on this webinar. If you're here present, you all want more in something. And here's the thing, I don't know what it is yet, but we all want something. Maybe it's in our health, or more success in our business, or a deeper relationship, or more confidence. But what I can truly tell, if you're all on this webinar, you all want more in something. And I know that we're not live in person, where I can't see you and you guys can't see me. However, the one thing that I do want to ask is that we don't waste time. And the one thing I actually hate to do is waste time. So here's my promise to you all. In this next 30 to 45 minutes or so, I won't waste your time. I will promise you that you'll all walk away with at least 2 or 3 strategies that you can directly apply in your business or your personal life before we're done here today. But all I ask is that we can do one simple key thing for us to make sure that we can guarantee that result. And all I ask is for participation. Now, I know this is a little bit different, but what I'll ask of you guys is for a few different things. And what does participation really look like? Well, it's really simple. Shout back some answers. Listen, I want you to pretend that we're face-to-face, we're together. And listen, I don't know where you're at or what you're doing, but what I really ask you is just, yeah, yell out the word yes. Or if you're, surrounded by some family, or you're somewhere in public, maybe you're in a Starbucks or wherever you're at right now, just at least acknowledge yes, But I really want you to stay focused, stay present, really take down some notes, like I said, shout back some answers, do whatever it takes, engage yourself, because I'll ask for your presence. And the reason why is because we know how this works, business and life. It's what we put into anything we get out. So for example, what we put in our business is exactly what we get out of our business. What we put in our health for our body, for our energy, is exactly what we get out of our health, our body, and energy. What we put in our relationships is exactly what we get out. Just like this webinar. What you put in is exactly what you will get out, right? So if I can see if you guys are committed and willing to participate and shout back some answers, whether it's in person, out to the screen, even if I can't hear you, or to yourself, or acknowledge yourself, if you can eliminate distractions, whatever you're doing, if you can just stay focused for this next period of time, let me hear in the chat box, say I'm committed, say I'm committed to producing some better results, whatever you want. Say I'm committed, yes, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let me hear you guys. Can you guys still hear me? I don't hear any chat. All right, I see a yes from Cindy with the exclamation marks, capital yes, awesome. Heather's in, I love it, awesome. I'm committed, let's go, Helen, fantastic.
And Dragan, one thing I should tell you is there could be a 30-second to 1-minute delay for some people.
Okay, cool. Born ready. I'm in, ready to hit it hard, yes. Okay, cool. I just found out there's probably about a 30-second delay. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, I love it. I'm committed. Let's rock and roll. I'm committed. Let's do this, Chrissy. Awesome. You guys are rock stars. So once again, cool. Awesome. All right. Like I said, first Google Hangout. That's why I was nervous, man. If you guys can see me, I'm actually having a bad hair day. I didn't get to put gel in here, so that was just added on the nervousness. But there's about a 30-second to 60-second delay. Man, you guys are rocking. I feel the energy already. Freaking yes. Awesome. Cool. All right. So now that we're all committed, let's keep rocking and rolling. One thing that I want to share with you guys later on at the end of the webinar, one thing that Adrian was able to experience was an event called UPW, Unleash the Power Within. It's July 16th to the 19th in Chicago. That's part of the reason we want to put this together, so you guys get a little preview of it. So with that being said, all I can tell you is if you decide to go, it's impactful, it's life-changing, it's absolutely amazing. It's the #1 success coach on the planet, taught by the it's the number one personal development program in the world, taught by the #1 success coach on the planet. And it's the reason why I'm here with you all today. I'll really, really briefly get into my story really quickly. So I was born and raised in Maryville, Indiana. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Maryville, Indiana. maybe Gary, Indiana. Well, my parents immigrated here 30 years ago from a small middle Eastern European country. Immigrated here with a middle school education. They didn't have much, but they taught me a couple things. Work really, really hard, and then treat people with respect. So a couple of those values they taught me I was able to use and instill in my life, and those two things have got me pretty far in my life. I got to a couple points in my life where I was, sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I don't know if you guys know what that means, but I mean, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got to a point in my life where I got 35 pounds overweight. I wasn't making the money I wanted. I wasn't living my life the way I wanted. Truly, I wasn't in a career that I wanted to do. I knew I wanted more, but I want to make sure that I can do something to impact myself for my future. So I decided to start listening to this guy named Tony Robbins. But needless to say, within 3 months, I just made some drastic changes. I found out that he was coming to, actually, believe it or not, Chicago. It was in my backyard, so I said, hey, there's my opportunity. I'm going to go invest myself. And it was kind of difficult because, you know what, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the time. I actually couldn't take the time off work. It was a blackout week. So you know how it goes. When you can't take time off, from a company standpoint, they just won't allow it. So needless to say, I was still able to make a way, and I was committed enough to get there because I knew there was something that for me, that I listened to, that I believed, that I just knew that if I go, it'd be worth it. So I got there, and needless to say, I came back, and every area of my life completely transformed. I know it may sound cliche, but I came back with a different mindset, a different psychology. And I know that Adrienne wouldn't have put this call together, and I'm sure you guys have had communication with her, or at least heard some of the insights and stuff about this event. But I came back with a different mindset, and I said a couple different things. I said the very first thing is, I'm never, ever, ever going to live in Maryville, Indiana ever again, and I'm going to move directly to San Diego, California. And I did so. And for the last 5 years, I've been moving every 3 to 4 months to a new city, being able to work with Tony and being one of his corporate trainers and speakers. So it's been a dream come true, which led me into the second decision I made. I said, you know what? I'm never going to work for anybody ever else again unless it's for Tony Robbins. And I know this is kind of just I just want to share with you guys this why is because I'm a small town boy from Maryville, Indiana. If you guys know what Maryville is or where Maryville is even at, there's really nothing in Maryville. So the reason why I share this with you guys is some of the tool, skills, information that we're going to go over here now, and some of the decisions and the commitments that I'll ask you could quite shift and change the quality of your life starting today. And if you do decide to end up going to the Unleash the Power Within event, I can promise you that some of those decisions and choices and your future decisions and choices will be that much more amplified with some of the tools, skills, and strategies directly from the #1 success coach on planet at one of the most impactful, life-changing events ever. So with all that being said, man, I'm pumped up, I'm fired up, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I know you guys can hear it, and once again, like I said, there's about a 30-second delay, so I caught up with a lot of the comments. You guys are rocking. So a couple of these things is I do want to ask some questions, and I know it's going to be a little bit delayed, but here's what we'll do. I'll ask some questions, and I'll just shout out some of the most common answers that I usually get when I do workshops and probably would apply to you, but also, still put in the comment box what are some of your answers. And don't get caught up, and I can still see the type of group that we're speaking to today. I have a pretty good idea, but it's also nice to see your name and some of your answers. So and also see the participation level as well too. So one of the big things that one Tony Robbins is known for is being one of the #1 success coaches in the planet. But when you look at the word success and you think of the word success, or you see someone successful, a mentor, a model, or someone that's successful in business or life, whether it's a direct sales company, whether it's a real estate agent, whether it's just a mother or father, anybody, a successful individual, what determines your success? Now remember, success is also different for every single person in this webinar, in this moment. For some people, it could be health. For some people, it could be relationships. For some, it could be success in their business. So when you think of success, what do you think of? That person would be, what would you say? This person is this, or this person has these type of qualities. So you guys can answer in the comment box, but some of the answers that I get is, they're dedicated, or they work hard, they have a strong mindset, they have a great belief system, they work really hard, they're consistent, they have goals, they have vision. And I still haven't seen any of them come in, but some of the responses, excuse me, but I'm sure some of those will model and repeat back to exactly what you guys are saying as well too. Now, when you look at all those things that we just mentioned, work hard, they're dedicated, they're committed, they have vision, it's not just going to be some of those answers that determine success. It's probably going to be a combination of all those answers, or a good majority of some. And with all those answers together, with all those answers or qualities for success, all those answers really come down to one answer. And that one answer together, they all come down to their patterns, their systems, their rituals, their habits, their patterns, their behaviors. And as I'm getting to this point, now I'm seeing some of your answers, and I see they have great heart, they're consistent, they're confident, they're dedicated, they're fearless, they're happy. Okay, great. So once again, all these answers, they all come down to basically their habits, their patterns, their behaviors. Now, what really determines success in anything we do are our habits, our patterns, our behaviors. And just for today's example, or just for today's webinar, we're going to use the word patterns. So, patterns determine our success in anything we do, but unfortunately, it's not the patterns that we're aware of. They're actually the patterns and behaviors that we are unaware of. And those are called our unconscious behaviors. Here's the thing, we all have them. Now, if we were live in person and we do this exercise where you can see something, where you can feel it, but I'm just going to give you this example anyway, or I'll give you a different example. A majority of time in our business or in our life, think about this. Believe it or not, you're actually running on unconscious, automatic autopilots, where sometimes we do the same thing over and over and over, or we have the same routines, whether it's a good routine or a bad routine. There are times where you take the same routine, or you'll end up wasting half an hour, 4 hours, 3 hours, and you don't know where the time went, or you're driving home and you don't even know how you got home. You just get home because we run on these unconscious automatic autopilots. Well, the question I ask each and every single one of you today on this webinar is, what happens if your current unconscious habits, patterns, or behaviors are actually taking you in a direction that you don't want to go? Or worse, what if some of those habits, patterns, or behaviors are actually giving you worse results in some area of your business or your life of an individual with your skill level, your talent level should be producing in your health, for your relationships, for your time, in your time management, for your business, that you should be producing in that area or those areas of your life? And I truly believe that when you can make it a commitment, when you make a decision to shift some of those mental and emotional blocks, those inner conflicts, and that's it. That's the only thing that stops any individual from having more success in their business or life. I truly believe, my true belief is, you absolutely can do, be, have, create, or generate whatever it is that you're committed to in any area of your business or in your life. Now, today, we're going to quickly go through some of this stuff. I'm going to push you all. I'm going to stretch you. I'm going to get you outside your comfort zone. And the reason why I share this with you is because one of the most important phrases that I was able to learn from this man, Tony Robbins, one of the first conversations, one of the things that I learned directly from him, he said, true major growth in your business and in your life, it starts at the end of your comfort zone, when it feels a little bit uncomfortable. And I really look at that, and I look at the areas of my life, and I can assure you this: I don't know anybody personally. I only know one person on this webinar personally, and even then, even that individual, I know that we've all gone through a different time and period of our life, every single one of us, that we had to stretch. We had to stretch mentally, we had to stretch emotionally, physically, financially, where we had no idea how we're going to get through that area or that time or that period in our life. but somehow we did. And how did we do it? We had a stretch. It felt awkward. It felt different, but more importantly, we grew. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to push you all. I'm going to stretch your thinking. I'm going to get you rocking and rolling. It may feel a little bit uncomfortable, but we're going to stretch your mindset, but I can promise you and guarantee you some results before we leave here today. So I'm just going to quickly just pause just for a couple seconds just so I can hear where we're at, and I want to see if you guys are committed and even more fired up and committed to producing better results, because I'm going to ask you some questions that could change your life forever if you do make some commitments today. Let me feel it say, yes, I'm committed. Let's get you guys rock and roll. I'm going to pause for about 15 to 20 seconds, and I'll keep rocking because I know there'll still be a little time delay. So let me hear you guys. All right, I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm going to keep rock and rolling. I'm just going to hope and I'm going to pray. I have a good belief and intention. I'm putting it out there that you guys are rocking and rolling, can hear my energy, hear that I'm passionate about this stuff. Oh, now they're coming in. Yes, ready, awesome, cool. I'm excited, beautiful, cool. So with all that being said, one of the most important questions I'm going to ask you, if you're on this webinar, can you grow? And I can almost guarantee that if you're on this call, you can grow. With that being said, I'm going to ask you, where are you really playing at? Where are you really playing at in your business, in your life, on a scale from 1 to 10? And when I ask 1 to 10, let me give you just an idea of what a level 1, 2, or 3 would look like and what a level 8, 9, or 10 would look like. Regardless what business you're in, regardless what you're doing for a financial career, that's where I'm going to ask you really focus on right now, that area of your life, that wheel or that portion of your life. All right, man, you guys are right. Oh my God, ready to rock and roll. The time is now. You guys are rocking. All right, let's go back. Man, you guys get me fired up. So we're going to go to that area of your business or your life or what you do for finances. And what I'll ask you is, where are you really showing up in that area, whether it be financially, whether it's results, whether, once again, if you're a realtor, you know, where you at transactions-wise, how much money you're making, whether it's direct sales, where you're at, what level, how much money you're making. Okay, here's the most important question. Regardless those results, you can be the top person in your career in what you do for finances, for money, but you're only playing at level 1, 2, or 3 of your own personal potential. So what that means is, regardless what anybody else thinks, says, or does about you, you're only playing at a level 1, 2, or 3. And that's not bad. All that means is there's way more of your potential to give and to grow. So if that makes sense, if you're playing at a level 1, 2, or 3, fantastic. That's your number. Okay. What's the level 10 look like? A level 10 is you can literally be the worst person in your office in what you do for career, for your finances. You're nowhere near where you should be. But every single day you show up. And what does showing up mean? Showing up means that every single phone call, every single opportunity to present your business, to go out there and present your services, you show up in the right state of mind. You show up in the right mental attitude. You have the right belief system. You're there to interact with your clients for their needs and their needs, because their needs are your most important needs. Regardless if you get the result or not, whether you get the business, whether they join your team, whether you close the deal or not, you show up every single day and you can look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, today I gave it my absolute best, regardless of the result, and I am playing at the best version of myself. And the beautiful thing about that question is the only person who can tell you if you're playing the best version of yourself is, that's right, just yourself. So if you were to really rate yourself 1 through 10, where would you say that you're playing? Now, obviously, by the time we get to this point, I won't know. But what I can truly tell, and here's the thing, I know I'll see some 1s or 2s, and I know I'll see some 6, 7, 8s. Here's the thing. I just want you to associate to the number of what you put down today. Let's just say you put down a level 2. Well, all that tells me, if we're looking at this from a business standpoint, from a financial standpoint, if you're playing a level 2, you're actually leaving 80% of your possible income on the table every day. Even if you're playing at level 8, You're leaving 20% of your possible potential on the table every day. And if there was ever time for our children, for our business opportunity, for what we do in our business and life, if there was ever time that we could not play at whatever number that we're playing at and increase our business or increase the possible business by, I see some threes by 70%, I see 4 by 60%, by 50, by 80%, wouldn't that time be now? So let's get that money off the table. Let's get you to tap into more of your potential and really get you to produce the results in your business or life that an individual like yourself is committed to making happen. And I know you're committed, and I can show you and I can prove to you how one of the best ways to make it happen is the UPW. And there's many, many ways of doing that. Okay? So let me ask you this. This is going to be the most important question of this webinar. Now, because of the delay, I will ask the question. I'll give you guys a little pause to think about it. But I need you to answer honestly, not for me, but for yourself. If you know there's more of you to give, and I didn't see anything higher actually than a 7. I didn't even see a 7. Maybe I did. Maybe I missed 1 or 2. But here's the whole point. If you're not playing at the best level of you, what is really holding you back from being the best version of yourself? I'll still wait. I'll give you guys a couple moments just to pause and think about it. What's really, really holding you back? This could be anything. What's really holding you back from you being the best version of you in your business? I'm still going to pause just a few. I'll share a couple that I get just so we can keep on rocking and rolling. But if you're not playing at the best version of you, what's really holding you back? Okay, so here's some of the ones that I commonly get, and we'll share these, but once again, I'm going to ask you, what really is holding you back? Just fill it out, and I don't know if everybody else can see the chat or not. I think you guys can, but here's the thing. Today is all about getting outside your comfort zone and growing. Whether people can see you or not, I'd ask you to share, and if you really don't want to share a couple, that's fine. Write it down for yourself. There we go. Okay, I see some. So I have habits, consistency, outside influences, time management, fear of success. Okay, fantastic. So let's stick with fear for a moment. Fear of failure, I see these, right? Okay, what types of fear? There's fear of failure, there's fear of success. What happens if I become successful? Listen, I'm already successful. I'm already working 2 jobs, working 16 hours a day. I don't have the time. I don't have. What happens if I change? What happens if I invest in myself and my business and it doesn't work out? Right? All different types of fear. Fear can hold people back. There's consistency. I'm not consistent. I'm just going through the motions. I'm stuck. I don't have the energy. Bad habits. Okay? Discipline, belief. Okay? Time management. Now here's all these things, and they're going to continue coming in. All these things that we're mentioning, here's what I love. I love them because they're real. I appreciate them because they're coming from you. But more importantly, let's just forget about those things for a moment. We agree that those things are the things that are holding you back in your business. Forget your business. Forget what you do for a living. Forget what you do for a job. Okay, even the individual that have 2 jobs, I acknowledge you, but now I want you to completely forget about your work, career, and finances. Okay, do these same things that we're mentioning right now that you see in the chat for the group. Do those same things actually hold individuals back in other areas of their lives? And without question, the answer is yes. I'm going to go through this wheel of life. Now, this wheel of life is just an example of how we balance our lives, but you can interchange the wheels of your life. But just for example, think about your health. Think about your energy, your body for you. I believe that's one of the most important areas of our life. I think you all would agree, if not the most important but that's for you. Okay? Regardless where you're at in your health, your body, your energy, it's pretty important. Now think about this. If your health, your body, your energy is not where it needs to be, does that affect your emotional state? Of course, absolutely. Your emotional state that you're in, whether you're happy, excited, passionate, fearful, lazy, discontent, whether you're stressed out, whether you're overwhelmed, whatever emotional state that you're in, bad habits, whatever, procrastination, your emotional state that you're in, does that affect you the way that you show up in your work and career every single day? Well, of course, you better believe it. If you show up in an angry state, or a stressed out or overwhelmed, or not comparing yourself, you don't have the knowledge, or fear-based emotional state, that's definitely going to affect you the way that you show up in your work and career. And the way that you show up in your work and career, does that affect your finances? Well, 100%, of course it affects your finances. And if your finances are not where they need to be, do your finances affect relationships? Well, of course. What type? Business relationships, friends, family, personal, intimate relationships. And if your relationships are not where they need to be, does that affect the amount of fun or lack of fun you have in business and life? You better believe it. And the amount of fun or lack of fun you have in business and life, does that directly impact where and how you invest your time? 100%. Time for what? Time for everything. And the where and how you invest your time will directly affect how you contribute. Contribute to what? Yourself, your business, your team, spiritually, community, back to your health, back to your energy, back to your finances, back to working on your emotional state. Every area of your life affects every single area of your life. True yes or yes? And I say true yes or yes because every area of your life, doesn't matter which way you start, affects every other area of your life. So with all that being said, what are those things that we just mentioned as a group in the chat that's holding you back? What are those things really called? What would you really call them? If we were being upfront, honest, if we called it tight, if we said, hey, listen, this is what they're called this. They're called excuses. They're called roadblocks. They're called challenges. They're called opportunities. They're called hurdles. They're called part of the business. Heck, they're called part of life. But whatever you want to call them, who's got to face them? Is it just one person? No. It's everybody. Everybody has to face those. And what are those really called? Here's what they're really called. Actually, I'm going to ask you to write this down. Write this down somewhere. Just write down these 2 letters. This is what all those answers that you just said are called. They were called BS. That's right, BS. But not that BS. They're called your belief systems. And it's your BS, your belief system, that will determine and produce every single result that you have in your life. And I'll give you that. I'll give you an example right now. Every single area of your life is directly affected by your beliefs. Every single human being, their actions that they take is driven by their beliefs, consciously or unconsciously. And most of the time, it's unconsciously. Your beliefs will determine the way that you feel. So let me just give you this quick little model. Stick with me, all right? Your beliefs will determine the way that you feel, also known as your emotional state. And I think you guys all could agree with that, but your beliefs determine the way you feel emotionally, and the way that you feel in your emotional state, okay, the way that you feel will trigger your thoughts. And the thoughts that you think, the thoughts that are going on in your head, those repeated thoughts that we have, whether it's to take care of somebody in our family, to respond back to an email, to get distracted by Facebook or this or that, the thoughts that you think on a day-to-day basis will determine the decisions that you make. And the decisions you make will determine the actions that you take. And the actions that you take will determine the actions that, the actions will determine the actions you take or the actions that you do not take. And I promise you this, I don't know everybody on this webinar, but life and business is not always rocket science. I'm not saying it's always easy. I'm not saying it's going to be emotionally easy or it's not going to be challenging. But the one thing I can promise you this, it's just the actions that you take or the actions that you do not take will dictate and determine the results you have in every single area of your life. And all those actions are directly affected by your BS. I believe this makes sense, and once again, I know it's a little bit delayed, but I think you guys are all caught up. Just keep on giving me a shout, and I encourage you guys throughout the chat or throughout this webinar, share, keep keep whatever you want to do. If you keep agreeing, whatever you want to do, just chat back, share some answers. But so let's talk about beliefs now. That model that we just went through, that's going to determine the results you have, or excuse me, the actions you take in every area of your life, or you don't take, will determine the results in every area of life. And what does that really mean? Well, it means that the results you have right now in your business and how much money you're making or you're not making, the level of your health, your body, your energy, your relationships, they're all a direct reflection of your beliefs about what you truly can have or what you can't have. And the only thing that stops that are those limiting beliefs, which is those ones that we just said, that BS, the limiting beliefs. Those are the only thing that stops anybody from doing the things that they want or they're committed to achieve in their business or life. The limiting beliefs, what we call at Tony Robbins, our company, what we call those the dream killers. So once again, all those things that are holding you back from being the best version of you, they're called the LBS, the limiting belief system. The other type of belief system, there's just two types, limiting and empowered. And the empowered beliefs are the ones that get you inspired, they get you moving, they get you rocking. They're the ones that get you to take that investment, to take that of time, that leap of faith. They're the ones that says, I know what I need to do, I'm committed to do it, and I'm going to make it happen. So let me give you this example about beliefs, because people are like, okay, I get it. Just believe in myself and think happy thoughts and be positive, and I'm going to make it happen. Great, and I encourage that. But positive thinking alone will not get you the results you're committed to making happen in business and life. Okay, what is positive thinking? Positive thinking is I'm thinking happy thoughts, the phone's going to ring, I'm thinking happy thoughts, I'm positive, and things are going to go my way, and I'm not going to take the action, you know, just as long as I put it out there, the secret intentions and all that stuff and the right vibrations. Do not get me wrong, that's important, that's great, and I agree you should be there, but you also have to take action. Because just doing that and not taking the action to the results that you're committed to making happen that you must have is like someone staring at their garden, looking in their garden, staring at the weeds, chanting, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds in my garden, and they're staring at the weeds. Now that's called insanity. Do not get me wrong, positive thinking is great, but you can't just think positive and take the wrong actions or not take any of the right actions to produce the result that you're after. Think about this. What happened in 2007, 2008? Okay, your belief system determines everything that we produce in every area of life at any time in our life. Okay, so go back to 2007, 2008. What happened? Well, there was a big shift in the market and the economy. But what happened? Okay, during that period of time, people were making money and people were not making money in business and life and whatever industry that they're in. We know people that were making tons of money and we know people that were not making any money. So the one thing I want to ask you, like right now, today, presently, in today's market, in today's economy, and what you're doing in your business, whether you feel stuck, whether you feel excited or passionate in your business, in today's market, in today's economy, okay? Do we have people in the same business, the same market, same opportunity, same training, same everything, and they're rocking it? They're knocking out of the ballpark. They're healthy, they're happy, they're excited, they're rocking and rolling, and they're just pumped about their life. Of course. But do we also have people in the same business, the same market, the same challenges, same everything, literally the same everything, and people who are stressed out, they're overwhelmed, they're not making the money, they're not producing the results in their business or life, they feel stuck, they're just all over the place in their relationships, and they're not making any money, they're not producing results, they're living paycheck by paycheck by paycheck. Of course. So here's what I can tell you. There's no such thing as a bad market. There's no such thing as a bad economy. It's just a bad belief system. It's just a negative belief system. And if you can take this principle, take this. You'll never be able to out-earn, outsell, or outperform your current belief system. And what does that mean? It means that you'll never be able to double your business, get out of feeling stuck. You'll never be able to get to that certain level in your business, have the body, the energy, or the time if your belief system says you can't. You'll never, ever, ever out-earn, outsell, or outperform your current belief system. And if we're going deeper, it's your current unconscious belief system. And that's where we want to really work in. That's what the whole UPW is all about, is to work that unconscious belief system to really support you in every single area of your business or your life. Now, I'm pumped up, I'm excited right now because I'm going to share with you the best way to prove to you how your results in every single area of life will be determined by two areas, by two factors: your beliefs and your day-to-day patterns. What we said earlier, what determines success? Our habits, our patterns, our rituals. So, what I'm going to ask you all right now is write down a result. What are you committed to producing in your business and your life in the next year? Okay, it could be the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next year. What are you absolutely committed to making happen to produce in your business or your life? But here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Be specific. How much money? Grow your business by what percent? I'm going to be this level in my business. I'm making this much per month. Okay? What specifically in your business for your financial career are you committed to making happen? That's one result. Second result you're going to write down. What's one area of your personal life? What are you absolutely committed to shifting or changing in your personal life? What's that mean? For me, when I was 35 pounds overweight, I said, that's it. No longer will I be like this in my health, my body, for my energy. It's not who I am. Also, I want you to focus on maybe it's not your health, maybe it's your time. What's one area of your personal life? And here's the thing. I know that not everybody here on the call has business or has their own business. You may be a mother, you may be a father, you may be, I don't know specifically where, but I just want you to think about every area of life and what are the most important results for you. It may not be business, but the one thing that we have to be cognizant of, at least here in the Western culture, we have to have some source of income to provide for our future, for our family, for our business, for taking care of our future, pay the bills, whatever that is. Or maybe it's being a support for that coming in. Maybe it's being a support for the spouse, the partner, or the person who is taking care of that for your family. How can you support in that area? Or maybe they need to make a shift. Okay. So more importantly, what are two results you're committed to making happen in your business and your life? And just take a few moments and write those down. What are you committed to making happen? Now I'm going to share with you really quickly. I get this phone call almost every single week. You know, I do a lot of almost every single week. I'm doing 8 to 10, sometimes 12, 13, 14 live interactions with different groups, and I get this same response back all the time. Dragan, listen, I understand. I get what you're talking about. Believe in yourself and take action. I get it, and I'm doing so. I do believe myself, and I am taking action, but I'm still not getting the results I want. And that's where I know they weren't paying attention. They said, I'm not getting the results I want. Well, think about that for a moment. This individual will say, or these individuals say, I'm not getting the results I want in my business. I'm not getting the results I want in my life. I feel stuck. I feel like I want to have this purpose in my life, but I don't know what it's all about, and I don't know how to get there. I want more confidence. I want a better body. I want a deeper relationship. I want. Now think about this. What is a want really? And do we always get what we want in business and life? And if we answer honestly, the answer is no. And I didn't make up the rules for it, but in business and life, we don't always get what we want. We get what we're committed to. Now stick with me on this. We get what we're committed to. Think about the last time that you made a real commitment, not a want, okay? Well, let me ask you this. Let me tell you this. What is a want really? A want is, you know what? I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes to feel unstuck, to really invest in my business, invest in myself, invest in my family, to really take control of my time, my day, to gain that confidence. I'll do whatever it takes if it's convenient. I'll do whatever it takes if I don't have to get outside of my comfort zone. That's what a want is. I'm going to challenge you all right now. I'm going to push you guys. I'm going to push you as a good trainer. Anybody, a good physical trainer, is going to push the individual to build some muscle. We're going to build some muscle today right now, some mental muscle. You have every result in your life right now is just a direct reflection of your commitment level and your commitments in every area of your life for you. What does that mean? Your commitments, your best thinking, where you're at, is a direct reflection of the results you have of every single area of your life. Those commitments. In your health, you're exactly where you believe you can be in your health and your commitment level to that. You are exactly where you're at in your journey of being in your purpose of life, where you should be, progressing, your spiritual journey, wherever you're at, your belief of where you should or could be, and your commitment level to that. In your business, the amount of money you're making is just a direct reflection of your beliefs and your commitment level to that result in that area of your life, for your business, your life. Your best level of thinking and your subconscious commitment level to that result of your life is a direct reflection of the results you currently have. So what does that mean? That your best thinking right now would not put you in a level of, or a place of feeling stuck, or in a place of fear, or a place of not making the money or tapping your potential. So what does that mean? It means that things must shift within your beliefs and your commitment. So right now I'm going to ask you, go back to that last time you made a real decision, a real commitment for your business, for your life, and when you made that commitment, when you made that decision and you said, that's it, no longer will I feel this way, this is exactly what I'm going to produce, I'm going after this result, and this is what I'm going to do. When you made that commitment, think about this. When you did not have the time, what did you do? And if you're answering honestly, if you're going back that time, I can promise you, if you're committed to a result, you found the time. You said no to something, or you said not yet to other things, and you said yes to your commitment. You had to sacrifice. You had to put in time. You had to effort. You had to. You had to sacrifice things. The individual on the call or on the webinar, they work 16 hours, 2 jobs. That's a sacrifice. That's a commitment. Think about that. When you didn't have the time, you did whatever it took. You found the time. You said yes to your commitment, whatever it took, when you're committed. And go back now. Go back that time when you made that commitment and you didn't have the resources. It was a challenge. You didn't know how to do it. You didn't have the resources. You didn't have the money. You didn't have the beliefs. You didn't have the confidence. You were full of fear. You were full of doubt. I mean, you didn't know what to do. You didn't have the resources, but what did you do when you were committed? You got resourceful. You found the money. You got the information. You got the business plan. You got around the right people. You did whatever it took. You read the books. You listened to tapes. You went to the seminars. You did whatever it took to produce that result when you're committed. So I ask you all right now, is those results that I asked you just a few moments ago to produce, are those commitments or are they wants? Because I promise you this, if it's a commitment, it will be a completely different set of actions that you take than a want. Because when you're absolutely committed to making it happen, producing any result in your business, your life, you will literally do whatever it takes to produce that result. So, how do we produce any result we're committed to making happen? It's really simple. You have to do something every single day. You have to take action. And action, or your lack of action, will determine your results. This model right now that we're going to go over, it's really quickly. I'll show you how this is the one that I was talking about, how your results, your beliefs and your habits will determine your success in every area of life. Okay? So it's the results that we're after. Those results that we're committed to making happen, those actions or those lack of actions will determine those results. The reason why an individual does not take actions is maybe they don't know, or maybe they do know, but the only thing that stops that individual from taking action or taking more action, or even taking action to take action on the stuff they know, is just a set of limiting beliefs. Just a set of limiting beliefs that holds that individual back from taking those actions that they know, or they need to take more actions to find out so they can produce those results. I think you all would agree with me. It's just the limiting beliefs that stops people from taking action. And in order for an individual to take action, to produce the results, they have to tap into something that they all have. You all have it, and it's completely unlimited. It's your unlimited potential. And I truly believe we all have unlimited potential, no matter what you do as a human being. But if you have all this unlimited potential to access, and it costs you nothing financially, because keep in mind, whether it's in business or life, whatever your outcome is, it costs you nothing financially to access your God-given potential, potential from the universe, potential from life, whatever you truly believe. But it costs you nothing, not one penny to access. But I'll ask you all this right now. If you're not accessing all of your potential, that costs you not one penny to access fully, what is it actually costing you right now in your business, in your life, in your emotional feeling? And I don't know, but what I can tell you is that if you're not accessing all of your potential, it is costing you something. So in order for you to access all of your potential, to take those actions and produce results, you got to all those things are determined by two things: your day-to-day habits, and what determine your day-to-day habits and drive those habits are your beliefs. And those two things, your beliefs and your habits, will determine your success in every single area of your life. But how does this really work? Well, let me give you this example. I'm going to call this person Don. And Don is an individual that we've all met and we know. Maybe he's a friend, family member, part of your business. Maybe he's your neighbor, whoever it may be. And Don is that individual that starts to just complain. Whenever you meet him, whenever you're around, just you can feel that negative energy. And Don starts to complain. This business is too difficult. Life is so challenging. I have all these things that I have to take care of my life. I can't really pursue the things that I'm after. I feel stuck. I'm fearful. It's all these things. Now, with all those things that Don is saying, I'm sure we've all met a Don. It's too difficult. I quit. There's no point. We've all met a Don before. But I'll ask you, have you also ever met Don personally? And I'll admit, I've also met Don personally before. I've been Don. Maybe it's not Don. Maybe it's Donna or Debbie or Sue or Susie. I don't know who it is for you. But when that individual shows up, when we meet that person, those thoughts, those beliefs are limiting. And what do those limiting beliefs really do to an individual? Well, those limiting beliefs force an individual to tap more or less of their potential. Less. When an individual taps into less potential, do they take more or less action? Well, they take less. When an individual takes less action, do they produce better or worse results? Worse. Then does Don or Donna or Susie or Sue or whoever it is, do they start to tap into more or less of their potential? They tap into more. Does their confidence level go up or does it go down? Their confidence level goes down. What happens to their confidence, their belief about the business, about life, about their purpose, about their family, about what's possible for their goals, their other areas of life? Well, that goes down. Then what happens to Don's quality of his life? That also goes down. And all those things go down, but then more importantly, what happens to Don's confidence, his certainty level about his limiting beliefs? They actually go up. That's right. His confidence and certainty about his limiting beliefs, his excuses, those roadblocks, those challenges, those fears, gets reinforced and they grow. Then Don starts to believe all his doubts. He doubts and believes his limiting beliefs. He starts to doubt his potential, takes less action, gets worse results. When he doesn't produce the results in business, in life, for the areas that he's committed to, for his family, he's not producing results. And what does Don say? He says, well, see, I told you so. I told you so it's not me. I told you so it's the market. I told you so it's the family. I told you so it's this. And maybe some of it is true. And I'm not saying it's not, but he starts to blame everything else. and finds every single excuse for why he's not producing results in his business and life, because it's easier to blame something or someone else than for him to really step up. And why? Because that one day of thinking, that one day of thinking that way and not producing the results, what happens, it gets reinforced. It gets reinforced and it slowly turns into 2 days. And think about this, that 2 days of not producing results, tapping less potential, taking less action, producing those results, turns into a week. And before you know it, what happens that week? Well, that 1 week of Don in that negative success cycle, he actually just created the scariest thing any human being could create. He created a negative, unconscious success cycle. And what it did and what it's doing is that 1 week before you know it, gets reinforced and it turns into a month. Why? Because if you do anything over and over and over again, it's going to get stronger. Now, if you do something that over and over and over again and it gets stronger, but it's the wrong thing, like in this case, where Don's believing the limiting belief and reinforcing how it's too difficult, how it's challenging, how there's no way he's going to be able to get out of it, well, he's believing the wrong things, and the wrong things are getting reinforced. So that 1 week that turned into a month, before you know it, that month turns into 3 months. That 3 months turns into a year. That year turns into 3, 5, 10, 15, 30 years later, until Don realizes he's been stuck the whole time. Why? Because when it was difficult for him to make a decision, to invest, to do something, to change his business, his life, to really show up and think differently, he went back to his same way because it was easier for him to get back into his comfort zone when it was difficult, when it was down, when it was uncomfortable, because once again it was easier to blame something other than himself, like that story of the beliefs and those old limitations, from really him tapping into his true potential of who he is and what he's all about. Oh man. Stop already. Oh, I'm sorry, Chrissy. But this is the reality of life, right, guys? And I'm sorry, I can't see you guys' faces, but here's the whole point. I hope this makes sense, right? And I think this makes sense so far, but here's the whole point about it. This stuff didn't just show up last night. Has it been there for some time? And if we're being honest, I think we could all agree that those excuses didn't just show up last night, or those beliefs. And once again, I'm not saying that they're right or they're wrong, and I'm not saying that you all have every single one of them, but if we're all honest, you all have at least one or two. And I'll ask you this, what if some of those beliefs cost you? What if some of those beliefs cost you in your business, in your life, for your emotions? You know, what if some of those beliefs about health, or your fears, or the inconsistency? Ask yourself, have they affected your business? Have they cost you clients? Have they affected relationships? Have they affected health? More importantly, who's the only person who can believe those beliefs? And if we're being honest, it's just you. And if you're the only person who can believe them, who do you think is the only person who can get rid of them? That's right, you. But here's the thing, it's not an easy conversation. You can't just talk about it and get rid of them. Why? Because we know this. This isn't the first time you've had that same conversation about those same things holding you back. It's probably not the 5th time or the 50th. It's probably not even the 500th time that you had that same conversation. And how can I tell you that? It's because you can't just talk yourself out of it. And if you could have, it wouldn't have been in the feed of the things that you said before. And think about this. We can't we can't talk ourselves something that we acted ourselves into. Those things have been there for some time. So I'll ask you right now is, what would shift for you? What would really change for you if you could really shift that story? If you can really divorce that story, okay, that story, those limitations, or if you can change that, if you can give it a different meaning when those things, emotions, when those feelings came up, if you can truly change the way that those things made you feel, or if you can completely get rid of that story, that voice inside your head, whatever it is, if you could get rid of it, how would you show up? Would you tap into more or less your potential? Would you take more or less action? Would you produce better or worse results? And I believe that if we're on the same page right now, if you're tapping into that best version of you, that most empowered version of you, that one is tapping their potential, is taking the actions, would you produce the results you guys wrote down earlier? That I asked you to make a couple commitments, would you produce results? My guess would be yes. My guess would be absolutely. But then I'd ask you this question: by already producing those results, is it possible that you would possibly even produce better the results than what you originally thought by shifting those old limitations, divorcing that old story? Would you tap into more potential, take even more action, produce even better results than what you originally thought? And I can promise you that most of you on this call, or excuse me, on this webinar would say, absolutely, I would produce even better results than what I originally thought was possible. And what does that mean? Then you say what? Maybe you say yes, hallelujah, amen. I don't know what you say, but you say something. But maybe you'd say, maybe I'm better than I thought. Maybe I'm way better than I thought. And then you start this new cycle. It's called a new empowered success cycle. And that's where it starts. But just because that's where it starts doesn't mean that's where it's gonna continue on forever. It's just like anything in business and life. Think about this. You can't just have those empowered thoughts, those beliefs, and just do it for a week. Okay, you got to consistently do it, because when you do it over and over and over again, it reinforces it. And when it gets reinforced, you don't have to think about it. It's part of who you are, right? I love it. Results are astronomical. Beautiful. So I ask you this. Think about this. You can't do it for a week. You have to do it consistently. Go to the gym for 1 week and stop. And tell me how healthy, and tell me how that works out for you a year down the road. Tell me how healthy you'll be. Okay? Is it going to work? No. Okay? Do the same thing in business. Work your business for 3 months and then stop. And tell me how successful your business is going to be in a year. It won't. Same thing in relationships. Have the most loving, passionate, amazing, intimate relationships ever, like for 3 years, and then stop. And tell me how that relationship looks a year down the road. Here's the whole point. You can't just do it once. You have to do it all the time. The training never stops. The training never stops for your mindset. The training never stops for your business. The training never stops for your relationships. The training never stops in your emotional fitness. The training never stops getting stronger bond with your creator. The training never stops working towards your purpose. The training never stops. It's when you stop, it's when an individual does not do anything, when they stay the same, when they get in the comfort zone. It's when they die emotionally, die internally, not physically, but there's a piece of them that starts to decay, that starts to wither. It's just like anything in life. Business and life, what happens? A plant grows or it what? Dies. In business, your business grows or it what? Dies. In business, what happens? You move forward or you get left behind. In relationships, they grow or they die. Nothing stays the same. So my question for you guys right now is, what happens if you really don't shift those old beliefs, that old story? Are you going to get better? Are you really going to stay the same, or are you going to get worse? Because keep in mind, nothing truly stays the same. So what does that mean? I'm going to ask you right now to make a couple decisions. What would really change for you by changing that story? By doing whatever it takes to shifting that story, to change that pattern, to change that belief. How would your business, what would your life, what would the results in every area of life really look like by divorcing the story and marrying the truth? What truth? The truth of who you are, why you need to get unstuck, why you're here to increase your family's potential for a better life, what's the truth for who you are, for your creator, for your purpose, for your passion, why, and what's the truth for what you're going to do with the money because of the success in your business, the results you have in other areas of life. So that's what I'm going to ask you right now. Take a moment. What would your business look like? What would your life look like? How would you feel emotionally? What areas of your life, how would it look like? Actually, I'm excited and I want to see this in the chat box. Describe what would happen. Would you have more time? What would you do with your time? And you can just fire off different things, or you can just do one at a time, or you can do the whole thing. What would shift for you? Would it shift your business? How much business increase would it shift? Would you increase your business double? Would it be triple? You know, would you have more passionate relationships? Would you lose 20 pounds? What would change for you? How would you feel? What would other people say about you? What would you say about yourself? So get in that mindset right now. Divorce the story, marry the truth. Who are you? What are you about? What's going to shift? And take a moment, because remember, every area of your life affects every other area of life. I still haven't had some of these. There you go. Awesome. Divorce the story, marry the truth. Empowerment, freedom, love it. And I want you to think about this now. There's going to start coming in right now. And think about the area of your life for you. Think about what you need to shift. Think about what would change right away. I want you to imagine that shifting that story, divorcing that story, right? And what's the first area of your life that would shift? And I know that we can't interact with a person one-on-one live, but here's what I'll tell you. This is what happens. An individual will say, you know what? Perfect. I'll use Stephanie's. I would feel closer to my authentic self. Well, what would that really mean? So think about this. You divorce that story, shift the story of whatever that is, and be that authentic self. Well, what would that authentic self really mean? Well, my assumption and my guess, and I think we'd all can feel it, is it would affect your emotional state. It would affect the way that you feel. And how would that feel? Maybe it's more confidence. Maybe it's just having more of a purpose. Maybe it's, there you go, Kellyanne saying, aligned with my true purpose. But what happens when you shift the way that you feel? Okay, you feel more empowered, just like Barbara was saying. I would feel empowered to help other people who have been stuck like myself. So perfect example from 3 or 4 different people with just that same one thing that shifts, right? When you shift the way that you feel, what does that do? You're empowered, you're confident, you're excited. And then because of that, what happens is other people around you feel that, okay? Other people like friends, family, people on your team. Chrissy said, be diamond by April 2016, all right? It would affect people in your business by you affecting your own emotional state. And when you affect your own emotional state, your clients feel it, your family feels it, your kids feel it, your relationships, your spouse, your partner, your husband, your family, and when they feel it, what does it do? It affects them. And when it affects them, what else does it do? It affects every other area of their life. But think about this from a business standpoint, okay? What happens when you shift your business or you shift your emotional state, and then what does it affect? Maybe it affects your body. Like Sally said, you lose weight and she gets to respect her body, which will allow her to help more other people with her health. So once again, it affects the emotional state, goes back to the health, and go back to the health for you. Well, what does it do? It gives you even more confidence back to your emotional state. When you feel even more confidence, what does it do? Other people feel it. They are attracted to you. You're increasing your business shifts, and the increase in your business shift, what does that mean? Well, you're helping out more people. You get to impact more people's lives. You're making more money. What happens with the money? Because it's not about the money. Keep that in mind. But now if you're making more money, what's that do? Well, it helps you provide a better future for your children. Maybe college. Maybe it's a better lifestyle. Maybe it is taking a vacation. Maybe it's just having some more adventure. There you go. You know, every day is an exciting adventure. Build closer relationships with the people you want. But everything affects everything when you divorce the story and marry the truth. And the truth is, the only thing that stops anybody from having anything that they're committed to making happen is making it a commitment to divorce the story and making it a commitment to produce the result they're after. And I can promise you this, there are people who are far less talented. There are people who they put less time and energy in business and life and everything, but they still produce better results than the other people. Why? Because those individuals have a less of a story that affects them to produce the results for themselves, for their family, for their business. So I ask you right now, if you're absolutely committed to shifting that old story, that old belief system, learning from one of the best, here's what I can tell you, here's what I can promise you. One of the best ways to make this happen is to do and go to the Unleash the Power Within. It's part of the reason why we put on this call. I know that we went a little bit over, and I think you guys are still on, which is fantastic. I know we started a little bit later, but this is just a preview. This is just a tidbit of a fraction of how empowering and how life-changing this event is. You know, and I'll stick around and answer some questions, or maybe I'll get Adrian on the phone here for a second, figure something out really quickly. But more importantly, here's what I want to do. Just want to give you a quick description about this event, how impactful it is. We wouldn't be on this call if Adrian didn't believe in this, if Jessica, if Tony wasn't absolutely the best at what he does in business and life, and how to help people like yourselves, individuals, produce results in any area of the life, whether it doesn't matter what it is, personal, friends, family, and anything. And the whole first day is about really conditioning your mindset about your mental and emotional muscle. We got the strongest muscle in the world, in the brain, in everything. Excuse me. When I get excited, I get passionate about the stuff. When I stumble over words. I'm stumbling already right now. You got the most powerful computer in the world. It's your brain. You know, unfortunately, in school they didn't teach us how to train, or they didn't give us the operating manual on how to control or operate the most powerful computer in the world, which is your mindset, it's your belief system, it's your brain. You know, I have a college degree and I value it very much, but even in college they didn't teach us how to really influence and dictate and determine how to build this muscle. The first day you're going to learn how to develop that muscle like a mental, emotional muscle, physical. You and Tony are going to build it and develop it strength-wise like some of the most top business professionals in the world, like some of the most successful personal individuals in every area of the life, just people who are absolutely amazing. By the first day, what we'll prove to you is you'll never look at that same story again, those same beliefs again, because now you're going to have a different way of looking at it, but you're going to have this mental muscle you've developed, and we're going to prove to you by the end of the first day, you're going to be able to storm across 12 feet of 2,000-degree burning hot coal. And it's just a metaphor for life, because think about this. You can know everything that there is to know in your emotional state, or how to feel differently, or how to impact your spouse, your kids, your family, but the truth is, if you're in the wrong state of mind, if you're in the wrong belief system, if you're just not who you need to be in that moment, or you let other things affect you, can you and will you get burnt in life, in business? And the answer is yes. It's just the metaphor for life. And when you can storm across 12 feet of 2,000-degree burning hot coal and not get burnt because you're in the right state of mind, because you're able to train and condition your mindset to get there, I promise you this. The next time you get stressed out or stuck, or you feel any emotion that's not serving you, you're going to learn how to get out of it that fast. That's just the first day. The second day is all about conditioning yourself for success. As we were talking about earlier today, what really determines an individual's success is their habits, their patterns. You're going to learn how to destroy some of those old negative unconscious habits. You're going to learn the 3 steps to creating lasting change. You're going to learn how to design those new empowered success cycles for who you are, to move you forward, to push you, to get you pulled towards your vision, your goals in every area of life. It's, you know, before you can influence anybody, whether it's children, a spouse, whether it's influencing your own emotions, there's one person you got to influence first, and that person is yourself. You got to influence yourself, your thoughts, your behaviors, your habits, your actions. And when you can do that, you can do just about anything. That, once again, it's all about conditioning yourself for success in every area of life, the second day, and that much more. And I'm just giving you guys, just in this 1 or 2 minutes, about this 4-day event. I know for some of you guys have already just put it a couple comments, life-changing, absolutely amazing. Laura is looking to bring her boys 10 and 14. Oh, awesome, absolutely amazing. That the second day is that much more. You're going to really identify what drives you forward in every area of life. It's absolutely amazing. And the third day it's really the most impactful, and just the culmination of all the days together. That is the most powerful day. It's called Transformation Day. And why it's called Transformation Day is those old beliefs, those old habits, those patterns. What they do is they're conditioned like a like a record, like a CD, like a DVD. And when you play a CD over and over again, that same track, that same song plays over and over and over. That same movie plays, that same DVD plays the same movie over and over and over. And what the whole third day is all about is the first day you're conditioning your mindset. You're going to condition it so strong, so it's just, so you can do things you can tap into, so you can get in that place emotionally where you can do whatever you're committed to making happen. The second day, you're going to condition your subconscious habits, yourself, for success. And the third day is where you really get rid of those old patterns. You're going to destroy those old records. Like a CD, if you scratch out a CD enough times, if you scratch out a DVD enough times and you try to play that same DVD or that same CD, it will never play the same way again. And that's why this last event in New York City, we sold out 3 months beforehand. We're going to do the same thing here in Chicago. We're going to sell out. It's not a matter of if we're going to sell out, it's a matter of when we're going to sell out. 7,000 plus people are expected to be here. Absolutely amazing. Adrian says that we're bringing our teenagers. We want to start living when we want them to start living when they are young, and to divorce the stories, and even at their young ages that have been created. I love that. So beautiful and so true. And that's the truth about children. They don't watch and listen to what you guys, or excuse me, they don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do, and we all know that. And some of the patterns and habits and beliefs we got and that were reinforced from us were from what we learned from our parents and our friends and growing up, and whatever stories that we were reinforced by outside influences. So I freaking love it. Absolutely amazing. That's what the whole third day is all about. Transformation Day was totally outstanding. I love it. Absolutely. Okay? That's the third day. Absolutely rocking. I mean, I hope you guys can hear the energy in my voice and how excited this whole webinar has been. But this is nothing to what the whole event is all about. Life transformational. And the last day is all about health and energy. So the last day Tony goes through. If you know anything about Tony, he has no energy at all. Ha ha ha, just joking. This guy's full of energy. He's on stage for 12, 13, 14 hours a day. He doesn't stop. And he tells you exactly what he does for breathing, his breathing routine, his workout regimen, his food, and just insights on health and nutrition and flexibility. It's absolutely amazing. It's just amazing what he does and how he's been able to do this for the last 38 years. So he gives you that in the manual. It's absolutely amazing. So that's the event. 3.5 days, 4 days, July 16th through the 19th. Yeah, Jessica, I appreciate that. It does start at noon on the 16th, and the 17th, 18th, all day, 19th until 6 p.m. That's exactly correct. But most importantly, get there. Do whatever you got to take. Do whatever you got to do. You know, I'll leave you guys with this for a couple different things. You know, the best investment you could ever invest in is invest in yourself. And it's not just for me. I think you could all. I think if you ask that yourself that question, what is the best investment anybody can invest in? And the answer would be yourself. It's because you are your best investment. When you invest in you, no one can take that investment away from you. And if you think about this, have we all made different or worse investments before? Absolutely. I believe we've all made bad and worse investments than something like this. But think about this. If you really were to be able to invest in yourself, to go see the #1 success coach on the planet and really learn and directly from this individual to be able to take and apply those same philosophies, strategies that have worked for the last 37 years, you are your best investment. When you invest in you, no one can take that investment away from you. And if you think about this, all right, I think Adrian jumped on video, so just a little backlash just for a second. So I'm just going to go back. Guys, if you think about it, the best investment you could ever invest in is in yourself. You know, we've all made worse investments, but if you can learn from this guy, the best, success leaves clues, and this guy's worked with some of the most successful people in the world. Is there really a worse? Is there anything wrong with that other than, you know, what could you lose out other than an opportunity to really design and shift your business, your life for the rest of your life? Adrian, I see you on video. I'm sure people can probably see you. I think I had you unmuted just for a moment because I was in the background. Let me see if I got to unmute you. And you want to share? Let me see. I don't know if people can hear you.
She has to click the unmute.
Oh,
You
cool.
guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I just hopped on as an administrator because I couldn't access some of the tools the other way. But thank you, Dragan, so much for this amazing presentation to all of us, and I really appreciate it. And I just hope that you guys all seriously consider going, because I didn't really know what to expect when I went, and quite honestly, I wasn't planning on walking across hot coals, but when you work with Tony and you're there and you feel the energy of all of these people and you realize what you can accomplish, it is absolutely life-changing, liberating, and that's why we really want our kids to go to this so that they can be a part of it. You know, this is going to impact us in so many different levels and different areas of our lives, and I just encourage you all to really dig deep and really think about participating in this, because it's amazing. It's life-changing. And, you know, if it's something that you just can't do, then there's other ways that you can continue to learn and to grow, and, you know, we can help you with that. But I just wanted to say my 2 cents.
No, awesome. Thank you so much. And actually, you know, I'll just have you stay on just for a few more moments if you don't mind. You know, I shared with you guys my story earlier today about Maryville, Indiana, and you know, have you guys really ever heard of Maryville, Indiana? I say that nothing wrong with Maryville. I'm a big supporter. I love, you know, where I come from, and I never forget that. But the reason why I'm so passionate about this stuff is because I would have never dreamt ever, like, I would be one of 5 speakers for Tony Robbins, but not only one of 5, just to do what I'm doing, and because I always doubted myself, because I always grew up I was not enough, and the question, and it's not about was I ever enough, it was just the decision to do it. And I promise you this, I've gone through 18 UPWs, and I don't do this because I need it. I do it because the impact and what it's done for me, but also the other people, like what you're hearing, what you're seeing with Adrian. It's just absolutely more people need to be exposed to this, and I truly believe that. I know part of the reason why Adrian's on this call right now is because when you help other people get what you want and you can share something that's impacted you, it just comes back to you in so many different ways. And there's a reason why Tony's so amazing at what he does, but it's about this whole event, and it's really would take just everything that you have to a whole nother level. And it may be a stretch, it may be a challenge or whatever it is, but divorce the story of the stretch and the challenge or whatever it is, and really do whatever it takes to just go back and invest in yourself. And if it is this event, do it. Fantastic. We'd love to have you there. It's absolutely amazing. Maybe it's the tapes or whatever, but do whatever it takes to get there, and I promise you it will be one of the best things you've ever experienced in your life. And other than that, we'll send out the information how to enroll. Just fill out the enrollment form. We worked out the half-off discounted rates, that the price points go up. If finances are a little bit of a challenge, we understand that. We want to make sure we can do the best we can to do support that. If that is something that will be finances, that would be a challenge, there would be a payment structure to that. So obviously it'd be more beneficial if you could make the investment in full. But we'll get that information over to you. And I'll just, in closing out, and I'll turn it over to Adrian just if she has any closing remarks. But like I said, I hope you guys got tremendous value from this call. I believe you guys did. I know the power and the information, what's done for me, and doing this, you know, like I said, for the last 5 years. I know that you guys got something out of it, but just imagine what it would be like for 4 days with 7,000 plus people and in a stadium full of energy, and Tony just rocking out, and you're really focused on the most important thing, you. And when you can focus on you, you can come back and really serve and impact those people around you on a far greater, much deeper level. And it's been proven time and time again from the best guy in the world. So I hope that was covered everything, unless I'm missing anything. And then Adrian, anything else if you want to share? But
Yeah. Thank you. I did just see that there is a link put up, guys, in the chat box at the top that has the sign-up form, the registration form. If you need to follow up with me, if you have questions about how to do that, or you know, if you really need a payment option, let me know, and we can figure something out for you about that. But you know, Okay, this was a stretch for Chris and I to do. I mean, we had to put together the finances. We had to rearrange like a typical spring ski vacation that we do with the kids, and we had to arrange childcare that was just like a nightmare, scheduling for 4 days with the 3 kids and shooting them off here and there, and we made it work. And we are so fortunate that we did, and our kids will reap the benefits as well. But you owe it to yourself to take 4 days of your life to experience this. So again, their link is there. Oh, Dragon Center link's not working. Okay. If I can, in our group Facebook message that I have going, I will put up that link there for you all. And also, sorry, I'm just trying to figure that out. I will put that up there for you. And then also, if you can't make the event in July, the next one will be in Los Angeles in October, most likely. It's not 100% confirmed, but you can keep that in the back of your mind. If and when we find out the details of that, we'll let you know for sure. But a good group of us are going to go to Chicago. It's really fun when you have people there that you can kind of get together with and just share in this experience together. So again, I'll get you guys that link to the Facebook group, and you all know how to get in touch with me, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else from me that I can support, or anything at all that anything? Are we good to go?
I think we're good to go. If anyone has any immediate questions that you want to pop into the chat box, I'm just looking through it. We'll give you guys just a sec in case there's any other questions. Okay, so I'm going to, I posted that link again. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to sign off, and thank you so much, Dragan, for taking time to speak with us and to share this with everybody, and I just wish you all happiness and success.
Awesome. You guys rock. Have a wonderful day, guys.
All right, bye. Thank you.